My wife cleaned out our account and moved a new guy into my house, so I pulled one move she missed. My wife divorced me by email while I was deployed in Kabul. It was 2 a.m. and I couldn't sleep, so I checked my inbox. Becky's message was cold and clean, like a work memo. 3 lines. She'd already filed, she'd already moved the money, and Jeremy had already moved into our house. She ended it with, "Take care." I stared at the screen. Then I typed one word back. Understood. I shut my laptop and went to morning briefing like nothing happened. Because after 16 years in the army, you learn how to keep your face still. At lunch, my buddy Travis said, "Man, you look wrecked." I told him, "My wife left me." He asked, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "Handle it." What Becky didn't know was I'd been handling it for months. The house she was claiming, the mortgage was only in my name, and it was a VA loan I'd had since 2015. When we married, I added her to the deed because I trusted her. Then, last March, months before I deployed, she pushed hard to refinance. "Lower rate," she said. "We'll save money." We sat with a loan officer while he flipped pages and pointed at signature lines. I agreed, but I made one small change before I signed. I added a clause saying any sale, transfer, or major move with the property needed both signatures. The loan officer explained it out loud and even tapped the line with his pen. Becky barely looked up from her phone. She signed and acted like it meant nothing. Around the same time, she started acting different. She stopped asking about my day. She worked late a lot. Her phone got a new password. She started talking about how her divorced coworker was finally happy, like it was some exciting new club. I didn't confront her because I don't rush in blind. I watched. I opened a separate account at a different bank and routed 60% of my pay there. The rest still hit our joint account like normal. I set up text alerts for every withdrawal, even small ones, and I kept screenshots in a folder. Becky never noticed. I also rented a small storage unit and moved the things I didn't want disappearing. My birth certificate, our marriage papers, and the house documents. I took photos of the unit lock, the receipts, all of it. The day I deployed, Becky hugged me at the gate and said, "Stay safe," but her eyes were dry, like she was dropping off a coworker. From Kabul, I kept checking our accounts online between shifts. At first, it was small withdrawals, like she was testing limits. Then the big hit came the day after her email. $38,500 vanished in one transfer. I called the bank from base and asked, "Did she need my okay for that?" The rep said, "It's a joint account, so either signer can move funds." I asked for a reference number anyway and wrote it down on a notepad. That night, I logged into our home security system, the one she forgot I could still access. A silver car was in my driveway. A guy I'd never seen was walking my dog, wearing my hoodie like he belonged there. My dog kept pulling back toward the door, confused. Becky was inside my kitchen laughing with him. Then she kissed him right in front of the camera. I saved the clips and backed them up twice. I felt something settle in my chest. Not rage, just clarity. The next morning, I called James, an old army buddy who became a lawyer. I sent him the email, the bank screenshots, the camera clips, and the refinance papers. James said, "She thinks you can't touch her from overseas." He told me to keep records, stop arguing, and let her talk herself into bigger mistakes. People get sloppy when they feel safe, he said. So I did. I kept paying the mortgage from my separate account for 3 weeks, like nothing changed. I let them get used to the place being theirs. Then, I quietly stopped paying. No warning. 26 days later, my phone lit up with Becky's name. Her voice was tight. "Wait, the bank says there's a foreclosure notice. Did you stop paying?" In the background, I heard Jeremy, loud, saying, "Tell him he can't do this!" I said, calm and steady, "Actually, I can." Becky snapped, "But I'm on the deed." I said, "The mortgage is in my name, and it's a VA loan. You can't take it over like you're entitled to it." She tried, "We'll figure something out. Just," I cut in. "Also, remember that refinance you rushed through? It says both signatures are required for any sale, transfer, or big property decision. You can't sell it, you can't borrow against it, and you can't pretend you own it." She went quiet, then whispered, "Please, we're drowning." Jeremy grabbed the phone and started, "Listen here." I said, "No, you moved into my house and lived off money you took while I was deployed. You don't get to threaten me." I hung up. Then I called James and said, "File everything today, Locke."